Hello guys, in today's lecture we will learn about anthropology course, that is marriage, chapter 2 marriage. It is a chapter which will come into your UPSC optional subject, that is anthropology. This is the first lecture, so we will begin. So we will start from chapter 2, that is marriage. In unit 2, that is the chapter 3 called marriage. So let's start. What is marriage? Definition of marriage. So see, according to Malinowski, always remember the name of this thinker, because we will discuss about him, because in the whole anthropology course you will hear this name more than 300 times. So according to Malinowski, marriage is a contract, isn't it? We get a marriage certificate and we get signed on it. So it's a agreement according to Malinowski. Contract for what? For the production and maintenance of children. We will give birth of the children together and grow them up together. So it's a kind of an agreement that we will stay together and grow our children. Is it clear? So it's like a promise. It's an agreement or a contract. According to R.H. Louis, marriage is a relatively permanent bond between two permissible mates. So, because divorce is possible. So see, it is not a permanent bond, but it is on the will of their. So it is not a absolute permanent. So that's why it is written. It is relatively permanent. So, and next is permissible mate. So this kind of analysis is thought process. And I told you, reading the notes once. So marriage is a relatively permanent bond between permissible mates. Permissible mate means what? Example, mother and son, they are not permissible. They are not permitted, means society will not permit them to marriage. Or brother and sister, they are not permissible. Such a relatively permissible mates bond between the permissible mates. Is it clear? The people whom the society will permit, or the society which is acceptable to them. Okay. So these are the two definitions. There is no definition of marriage that can describe all type of marriage. Exactly. So see, there is no exact definition, because marriage happens in all around the world continent. And you will see more than 20 definitions of marriage on Google, Wikipedia. But you will not able to write all of them. So there is no actual definition. But there is marriage on all continents. So it means marriage is universal. Marriage is universal means what? So there is one very important point. Marriage is universal does not mean every human being will get married. You might get doubt. You don't see at the individual level, but you see anthropology at the society level. And it is not my thought, it is not your thought. It is the thought of this Upsc and Harris. So here it is not about exceptions. You don't see anthropology at individual level. Even if 40 people they don't get married, still they will be same thing, because you are talking about society as a whole. In every society there is a practice called marriage. That is the meaning of this whole sentence. But there is no exact definition. But in exact, marriage is universal, but the definition of marriage is not universal. That is a very important line. I mean, there is no exact definition which can describe all types of marriage present in the world. For example, I give you a small example. There is a contract for production and maintenance of children. Did you hear Aishwarya before she got married to Abhishek Bachchan? She married to a plant. So there is no actual definition of marriage. Okay. So definition is not acceptable. Okay. Next is the functions of marriages. So marriage fulfills biological needs of human. So according to Sigmund Freud, sex is innate need to human beings, which is a characteristic of marriage. So to human, which is a characteristic of marriage, fulfilling the sexual needs. It's one function of marriage. Second is procreation of children. Procreation of children means creation of children or giving birth to child. Example, among Gonds, the objective of marriage is to protect a large number of children. So Gond tribe of children always prefer a large number of children family as a prestigious family. So there will be more number of child, then there will be more manpower. Third function, upbringing of children. Upbringing of children. Now, other function is marriage regulates the sexual behavior. So marriage gives legitimacy between two people to have a sexual behavior. So they feel safe and they are legitimate. Next is marriage fulfill economic need of the marriage partner, because if there is one person he is in need of dire money, then there is another person who is not have money. If they get married, they can fulfill each other economic goals. Next is marriage perpetuates kinship groups. Kinship is a term we will learn in later of this unit. So it means that the next upbringing of the family. Next is marriage is an institution of care and cultivation of children. So suppose if you get old, then who will take care of you? Who will upbring you? So marriage is a thing from which you will give birth to legitimate child, and that legitimate child will take care of you when you get old. So these are some functions of marriage. Economic needs means the husband is expected to provide for the children and the wife. Next function is to continuation of the culture. So how I can manage to continue my own culture? So through marriage I can enculturate, or I can teach my children that this and these are the rituals, so they can also perform. So perpetuation of the culture. Next is discuss the different forms of preferential marriage. So preferential marriage, it means that these are the proscribed, or according to society what we observe here. So what are the different forms of marriage? In by suitable example from the tribal societies in India. So we need to give this answer from the tribal point of view. So there are four major different types of marriages: consanguineous and non-consanguineous. Consanguineous means blood. Non-consanguineous, it means those are not related between the blood. For example, there is a uncle-niece relationship. They are by blood. It is non-consanguineous. It means that they are not related to blood directly. Next is based on social group. In society we have varnas, Brahman, Kshatriyas. So marriage between both of them or inter-varna marriage comes here. Next is based on number of spouses. See, in hunting gathering, if we see from the beginning, there is a hunting. There used to be hunting and gathering, where it is used to be accepted that the polygamy used to perform. Polygamy means when one person is married to one person only. So because men used to go for hunting, and there used to be a lot of stress and lot of physical hard work, which means that if a man goes to hunting, there might be chances he won't survive hunting season. So in that case, in the home, if the woman is pregnant, there will be no one to help her. So it is used to believe that in hunting and gathering society, nuclear family used to be there. Nuclear family means the person, his wife and his children, not larger than 4 members. So number of spouses. But as soon as the industrialization happened or agriculture advancement, there used to be a monogamy situation came, where one person married to multiple wives or multiple wives married to multiple men. So this is how the society comes according to number of spouses. because in agriculture we needs a lot of manpower. Manpower in the sense, if there will be large number of children at home, and there will be large number of person who will be working in the field, and they will get much more output at the field. So in agriculture society there is a monogamy performed. So the number of spouses are more in agriculture as compared to hunting and gathering. Now coming to the industrialization phase, and industrialization again there is a lot of expenses, there is a lot of capabilities. You need a lot of funds to maintain your children, maintain your lives. Again, the same situation happening with hunting as happened with hunting and gathering. Again, the people are going from monogamy from polygamy to monogamy. Next is based on social status. Social status means how the society, in the society, what is their standing. So suppose there is a guy who's earning 1 lakh rupees and there is a girl who's earning 10 lakh rupees. There is a social status gap between the way of living, the art, the way of spending, their spending limit. So marriages happen on these kind of things as well. And you might have seen multiple movies, dramas, especially in Korean dramas, where you see rich girl marries poor man. So these are kind of a social status, or based on social status means you can also see that in the medieval times kings used to marry their queens, marry the princess of the another kingdom to maintain their social status. They don't marry bit lower to lower classes, so to keep their blood pure, to keep their blood not mixed with the lower classes. So these are the 4 types of marriages happens according to their tribal societies. Although there are a lot of marriage, but we are focusing on tribal societies especially. So in society there is a term called social institution. Social institution marriage is a kind of social institution. Family is a social institution. So what is exactly the meaning of social institution? We will learn here. So social institution means any kind of process which is performed by majority of population. Majority of population, which means, for example, there is a marriage which is performed across all around the world. There is a thing called a family. So these are all kind of a social institution which is performed throughout the world and throughout their according to their rituals. The process might be different, but the things are same. So these are social institution which is performed by majority of population, or approx 90%. Next is social institution are those kind of things which are universal needs. Next come their diagram for our understanding. See, recently we have learnt about consanguineous and non-consanguineous marriage. Inside there is a thing called uncle niece marriage. So here you can see the character ego. Ego is some kind of character. So we will consider this as us. Now here it means this this bond means marriage. So there is a round means female and triangle means male, and this bond means that marriage. And now there is one more thing, straight line down, which means they have a children, and round children means they have a daughter. And now this daughter's mother is having another brother called ego. So ego is related to this niece, this woman, through a relation called niece. So this uncle niece marriage. In the same way, next we have a different type of institution, that is a different types or ways from which a marriage can be performed. There is a monogamy. Monogamy means one male, there is one female. Monogamy is observed in all around tribes. Especially in anthropology, we will be focusing on the tribal areas. Next is polygamy. Polygamy will be performed where there will be one man and there will be multiple wives. So polygamy is considered related to multiple females married to one man, and it is more majorly performed among Gond, Naga, Bhil, Santal and Chenchu tribes. Then there is a polyandry. Wherever the word andry means it is related to men. So gyne is female and andry is male. So it means that one woman is married to multiple men. Must have read the concept of a Mahabharata. It means there is a Draupadi was married to 5 men. So you can relate it to that polyandry. It is kind of rare among India because India is majorly a patriarchal society. Inside the patriarchy, there will be always a more number of male married to multiple female, neither not one female married to multiple men. So you can see this is a very unique concept. It is very rare among Indian tribes and only performed by some matrilineal clans, that is Toda of Nilgiri, Kelong, Memba, Arunachal Pradesh, and Khasa of Uttarakhand. Then there is the polygamy. It is a situation or it is a type of bond where multiple men are married to a multiple female. So it is a situation where there is no such thing called us child or our child. It is a societal child and they live in a community and using that community there is a whole society which keeps and nurture the children. There is no such situation where the children has been claimed by any parent specifically. It is the societies and they are performed to keep social harmony and to make a group more unit. And there is a polygamy interest, which means there will be multiple female as well of the polygamy, and there is a polyandry as well performed. It is performed majorly by 2 tribes, that is Toda and Khasa. So Toda here as well and here as well. Next comes concept of fraternal polyandry. It means that there is one woman, she is married to multiple men, and those multiple men are related through a brother. They are related with the same blood. So you can especially use this example of Draupadi in Mahabharata, that is she is married to the 3 brothers. And you can give here as well the non-fraternal polyandry. Fraternal means the brotherhood. Here non-fraternal means a girl is married to 3 men, but their 3 men are not related to each other individually. So that's the basic difference. Next comes familial polyandry, which means that inside family there is a thing called polyandry, which means that a male and female are married, they had a child, a son, and then there's this thing called the father married to another girl as well, when that girl married to son as well. So this is a kind of familial polyandry, where polyandry means one male is married to multiple females. Okay, so see, these are the thing. Or one, okay, so a female is married to a father and son. This female is married to this father as well and this son as well of this father. So this is familial polyandry. Next is sororal polygamy. This is very quite related to a fraternal polyandry. It is just a gender switch. There, one male is married to a multiple women, and those women are consanguineously blood related. So these are all sisters, sororal, and this is non-sororal, which means one male is married to multiple females, and those females are not related, blood related. And next is hypogamy. So now here we comes in marriage on the basis of social status. Social status means in Indian society there is a 4 varnas, so Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. So when a Brahman girl is married to a lower caste boy, there is a hypogamy, that is pratiloma vivaha. So vivaha is 3 kinds, like anuloma vivaha and pratiloma vivaha. If there is a boy is higher caste and girl is lower caste, then it is called anuloma. And vice versa, the girl is higher and boy is lower caste, then there is a pratiloma vivaha. So a Brahmin boy can, if marry a Kshatriya girl, Vaishya girl, Shudra girl. Kshatriya boy can marry a Vaishya and Shudra. Vaishya married a Shudra. But if there is a vice versa situation, is a girl is Brahmin and is married to KVS, that is Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra, then it is a pratiloma or hypogamy. So now next is rules of marriage, that is marriage regulations. So what are the rules? Because marriage is universal, as we have learnt in this chapter. But what are the rules? Every society has its own rule to marriage. what are the regulations? Then there is so here comes the concept of preferential, proscriptive, and prescriptive. So every society has some rules of marriage, but they vary from society to society. So here again it is written that marriage is universal, but it does not have a universal definition. It means, however, there are some norms which are commonly found in society, which means there are some same rules as well. Some same rules, not all same rules. So there are some rules like which means the positive rules and there's a negative rules. So positive rules comes are known as these kind of marriage which are prescribe or suggest whom to marriage. Whom to see there is a guy, he has been allowed whom he can marry, to whom he can marry, and next is a guy who is not allowed to whom he cannot marry. So these are known as positive and negative rules. So positive rules, there is a thing called prescriptive. It is a prescription. It is not a necessary. It is a prescriptive that states that one must marry only a member of particular category. For example, among cross cousins, see there is a girl. She is given a choice that she can marry among the cousin. It should be a mother's sister's son or a father's sister's son. So there is a choice given, but it is from particular category only among the uncles, and so these are known as prescriptive. Next is a preferential rules, which means that which states that one ought to marry only a member of a particular category, which means that preferential means again it is a positive rules, but it is much more stricter that whom to marry. It should marry only from a particular category. Okay, ought to marry. Next, so in prescriptive it is must marry. It should marry between the caste only. So suppose there is a Brahman man, he should marry within the Brahman only. So in Brahman there are some Jat as well, the Rajputs as well. So these kind of things as well.